Hello, everybody, and welcome to Youth Connect Friday, August the 13th. I'm Aiden.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Joshua.
And I'm Jeffrey.
And welcome to our Youth Connect. I just want to say to everyone right now, happy Friday the 13th. Woo! If you ever have the time, I recommend that you watch Friday the 13th or any of its movies, because you know what? It's always nice to have a little bit of horror, especially on this day. But we're not talking about that, because our first thing of Youth Connect is our Game of the Week with gaming news. So today we have our Spotlight Game of the Week, one game that I think that you should try out and really just give it the spotlight. And today's game is Mario Kart 8. Now I know this one's a bit of an oldie, very first released when the Nintendo Switch came out, but for some of you, I bet you don't even know what Mario Kart 8 is, so here is a quick description. We love Mario Kart and hit the road with the definitive version of Mario Kart 8. And you can play anytime, anywhere. You can race your friends and battle them in a revised battle mode on new and returning battle courses. You can play locally in up to 4-player multiplayer while playing in TV mode. Every track, including from the Wii U version and DLC, makes a glorious return. Plus, there will be new characters, including Inkling, King Boo, Dry Bones, and Bowser Jr. So we also have some key features that, sometimes I look at Mario Kart 8 and I'm like, what's so special about Mario Kart 8? Well, here's some key features. First of all, you have a choice from up to 42 playable characters in Mario Kart 8, which is a very big number. And each one has their own and unique skill set that is specifically meant for that specific character. Some also cool things is new courses. You can battle on new courses like Urchin Underpass and Battle Stadium, or returning ones like GameCube's Luigi's Mansion and the SNES Battle Course 1. It also has returning items, which include the Boo, which is the item stealing ghost, and the Feather, which gives you a high jump in battle mode. And the amazing part is that this is also handheld, obviously, because it's the Nintendo Switch. You could play it anytime and anywhere. So if you guys like Mario Kart and, you really want to have a game, or even if you don't, if you want to have a game that you want to play with family and friends, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a fun time, and it's not just going to be one round. You can have multiple rounds. That's how cool Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is. And there's so much diversity. Don't even get me started with the customization of your own kart. Anyways, though, next up is my co-host Kevin, who's going to share us some local Ontario Canadian news and weather.
Good afternoon and welcome to this edition of Youth Connect. The time is now 3:35. I'm your host, Kevin Aruja, but first, the headlines. Ontario reports 510 new COVID-19 cases and 4 new deaths. Ontario long-term care homes call for mandatory vaccines for all healthcare workers. O'Toole says Trudeau shouldn't rush into an election with threat of a fourth wave looming. Gas price will depend on Delta variant effect on economy. And the Blackhawks Hall of Fame goaltender Tony Esposito dies at the age of 78. Ontario is reporting 510 new COVID-19 cases and 4 new deaths on Friday, with the province knows active cases burden rising to a level not seen since late June. The province reported 513 new cases on Thursday and 324 on Wednesday. The 7-day rolling average of new infections now stand at 399, up from 375 yesterday and about 201 week ago. Provincial labs processed 23,586 test specimens in the previous period, generating a positivity rate excluding duplicate and inclusive tests of 2%. Health Minister Christine Elliott says that of the 111 people with COVID 19 in hospital intensive care units today, 108 are not fully vaccinated or have unknown vaccine status. The province says that 81.2% of those 12 and up now have at least one COVID 19 vaccine dose, and 72.5% have received two doses. Ontario long term care homes are asking the province to mandate COVID 19 vaccination for their staff as well as healthcare workers in all settings. The Ontario Long-Term Care Association says making vaccines mandatory province-wide would both protect residents and ensure facilities don't lose their staff to other healthcare facilities. The province requires staff in long-term care homes to disclose their COVID-19 vaccination status, and those who are unvaccinated for non-medical reason have to undergo education about the importance of immunization. But Premier Doug Ford has refused to mandate vaccines in any settings. He has spoken in support of a Toronto hospital network's policy that unvaccinated staff and those won't disclose their vaccination status have to take a COVID 19 test before coming to work. Conservative leader Aaron O'Toole said Monday with COVID 19 cases accounts rising in many provinces as the potent Delta strain takes hold. It's not the right time to plunge the country into a federal election campaign. Speaking to reporters at a camping style stop in Belleville, Ontario, O'Toole said Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is only considering an election now just 2 years into this mandate because of his own self interest. CBC's Paul Tracker suggests the governing Liberals have a sizable lead over the opposition parties in national polling. The parties have been busy nominating candidates, and Liberal Party declared a state of electoral urgency months ago to quickly name candidates in the country's 338 ridings ahead of a vote and raising money for an election campaign that can be no shorter than 36 days. O'Toole said that in order to address some of the COVID induced economic disruptions in rural Canada, a government led by him would fast track the rollout of high speed internet countrywide to bring reliable connections to all rural and remote communities by 2025. A gas price analyst says price at the pump will largely depend on how the Delta variant of COVID 19 plays out in the North American economy. Dan McTeague, president of Canadians for Affordable Energy, says the variant has caused concern around demand as it slowed down the economic reopening. The price of crude oil peaked this year in early July when it went above US $75 per barrel and sent gas prices in cities like Vancouver to highs of a $1.74 per liter. The price of crude oil was 68.63 US dollars per barrel as of Tuesday afternoon. But the price Canadians pay at the pump has consistently risen in recent weeks. The average price of gas in Canada currently sits around in a $1.39 per liter mark. According to data from GasBuddy.com, if cases continue to rise, McTeague said people can't expect prices to hover at the current level, but when cases drop, he expects more sharp increases. Just in sports, Tony Esposito made an immediate mark on the Chicago Blackhawks and a lasting impression of an NHL. Esposito, the pioneering Hall of Famer who spent almost his entire 16-year career with the Blackhawks, he died following a brief battle with pancreatic cancer. The team announced since last Tuesday he was 78. Esposito debuted the Montreal during the 1968 to 1969 season, which appeared in 13 games. He was then left unprotected with the Canadiens deep in goalies and taken by the Blackhawks in an Ultra League draft for $25,000, an investment that paid immediate dividends for a team that was coming off a last place finish in its division. Esposito helped lead the Blackhawks to first place, showcasing his butterfly style to post a 2.17 goals against average and 15 shutouts. Still a modern record for an NHL goalie, he won the Keller Trophy as the NHL's Rookie of the Year, as well as the Vezina Trophy given to the top goaltender. He also won the Vezina in 1972 and 1974. The Esposito family called him a Hall of Fame husband, father, and a grandfather. In today's weather forecast, we've got cloudy this afternoon. The temperature is now 29 degrees centigrade, but it's still hot out there. And on Saturday afternoon, we've got sunny, which is another hot season for tomorrow. The temperature will be 25 degrees centigrade. That's all the report on weather. Have a great weekend, folks. And now back to Aiden's gaming news.
Thank you so much, Kevin. You know what? I have been having a lot of trouble with that hot heat. Oh my goodness. It's been hot for the past few days, and I hope that it cools down eventually, but you said that it might, so it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice that it's going to cool down. For our second video game news, we got something quite scary. Now, the health effect of video games has been discussed and debated since the dawn of the interactive entertainment industry way back in the 70s. And while there has been a great amount of studies that highlight the positive impact games have on people, the ones which focus on the negative usually make a bigger splash in the mainstream media. The most recent example of this comes from the UK newspaper The Telegraph, which has published a piece entitled Spiritual Opium? Could Gaming Addiction Ruin a Generation? The article is actually piggybacked off a recent statement made by the Chinese state media that compares video games to electronic drugs. Speaking to VGC about the Telegraph piece, a spokesperson for UK trade body Yuki said, "It's disappointing to see pieces like this extensively misrepresenting games. It is both unfairly demonizes, the 37 million people across the UK who find games to be a relaxing source of healthy entertainment and undermines evidence-based efforts to support the very small number of people who do need help managing play. We are a responsible, regulated industry that has been demonstrated that it takes concerns seriously by running campaigns such as our Get Smart About Play initiative to support safe and sensible play. We will continue to take this responsible approach and keep educating players and parents about all aspects of play over at www.askaboutgames.com. I say that video games, depending on which type that you play, might help. Especially if you're playing, let's say, a shoot 'em up, helps with eye coordination. If you're playing a rhythm game, it helps with memory. There's so many good positives about it, but they are right. Sometimes the negative does outshine the good. But we should always remember, sometimes video games are helpful at times. Anyways, though, next up we have Joshua, and Joshua is going to bring us some world news and, of course, your very favorite animal news.
Good afternoon, welcome to Uconnect. Here's what's happening around the world. Floods that hit northern Turkey leaves 27 dead. Turkish authorities said Thursday the death toll from the severe floods and middle mudslides that struck the north of the country has risen to 17, with one more person still reported missing. The floods battered the Black Sea coastal provinces of Turkey on Wednesday, demolishing homes and bridges and sweeping away cars. Helicopters scrambled to rescue people stranded on rooftops. The disaster struck as firefighters in southwest Turkey worked to extinguish the wildfire in Mangla province, an area popular with tourists that runs along the Angiage Sea. The blaze, which was brought under control on Thursday, was one of the more than 200 wildfires in Turkey since July 28. At least 8 people and countless animals died, and thousands of residents have had to flee fierce blazes. Climate scientists say there's little doubt that climate change from the burning of coal, oil, and natural gas is driving more extreme events such as heat waves, drought, wildfires, floods, and storms. Such as calamities are expected to happen more frequently on our warming planet. Greek Greek wildfires describes as a major ecological catastrophe. Greek Prime Minister Mitsotakis on Thursday described the devastating wildfires that burned across the country for more than a week as the greatest ecological catastrophe Greece had seen in decades. The fires broke out during the most intense protracted heat wave experienced since 1987. The country searching hundreds of wildfires erupted across the country, stretching Greece's firefighting capabilities to the limit and leading the government to appeal for help from abroad. Hundreds of firefighters, along with planes, helicopters, and vehicles, arrived from 24 European and Middle Eastern countries to assist. Scientists say there's little doubt that climate change from the burning of coal, oil, and natural gas is driving more extreme events. Greece's largest wildfire broke out on the country's second largest island of Eva on August 3 and was still smoldering on Thursday after having, with more than 50,000 hectares damaged and entire mountains of mainly pine forests and have been reduced to wet wastelands of blanket stumps, while olive and fig trees, plantations, and vineyards were also destroyed. NASA is training human robots like to explore caves on Mars. When searching for signs of a life on other planets, scientists say their caves are crucial places to look at. But how can a team on Earth effectively explore intricate and dark and unfamiliar landscapes on another world? NASA and Boston Dynamics have found an answer that is using fully autonomous robots. Caves are one of the most likely places to find signs of both current and past life on other planets because they are capable of protecting life from cosmic rays and extreme temperatures fluctuations around our solar system. A NASA project called Braille is now working on exploring Mars-like caves that already exist on Earth in order to fine-tune the key technologies for future missions in Mars. According to researchers, the project had enabled the first ever fully autonomous robotic exploration of these types of caves, which are several hundreds meters and long and limit communication with the surface. Researchers hope that the robots will be able to autonomously carry out parts of future missions in past after humans have built up a certain level of trust with them. Now turning to our animal interest news. Fish with human teeth caught in North Carolina. For most of us, the idea of a fish with human-like teeth feels like an experiment gone wrong. But photos have been making the rounds on social media after a fishing pier company in North Carolina showed one angler's recent catch. The fastest, trickiest baiters. People talk all the time about how they can steal your bait really quickly, said Daryl Law, communications manager for the Gennett's Pier in Knighthead, North Carolina, during a phone interview with CTV News. I think it resonated with the masses around the world because it is the kind of looks like a human teeth. He laughed. The nice toothy fish was reeled in by Nathan Martin, a regular fisher at the pier last Tuesday. Experienced anglers know the species as sheep's head fish, and they're fairly common to the area. The name of the species is named from the fact that its most appear to look like sheep. Its mouth appears to look like sheep's mouth. The fish also has a nickname called convict fish because of their defined vertical black and white stripes. The Facebook post of the fish, which had the hashtag Big Teeth Big Times, have garnered plenty of online reaction, including one person cheekily wondering if it's difficult for the fish to brush its teeth with no hands, while another while another person wrote, I wonder if they have toothaches, or one user simply lamented that the fish has better teeth than me. Turning to entertainment news. When will Mike Richards and Mayim Bialik become the permanent host in Jeopardy? Jeopardy is bringing its 8 months of guest hosts to end this August. After that point, two people become the permanent hosts of the game show, taking over from the late Alex Trebek. Jeopardy executive producer Mike Richards will present the show, while the Big Bang Theory actress and neuroscientist Mayim Bialik will host a series of spin-offs and primetime specials. Richards has previously hosted the show in February, while Bialik presented in May. Both will soon head back into the Jeopardy studio to film new episodes. The Hollywood Reporter revealed that the new Richards episodes will start airing on network TV from September 13th. When will Mayim Bialik host the show? In August, Jeopardy makers Sony Television announced that she would host a spin-off called Jeopardy National College Championship, which is set to air in primetime next year. It will have 15 colleges to compete, with each winning student taking home $100,000. This is Joshua Show reporting for UConnect. That's it for me. Now I'll send it back to you, Aiden.
Thank you so much, Joshua. You know what? I gotta say, those sheepshead fish, ooh, kind of creepy. I wouldn't want to eat a fish that has technically teeth on its tongue and just front row teeth. Just imagine. Ooh, very creepy. Is there teeth all over the fish? Sooner or later, we're gonna see a fish that's entirely made out of teeth. Just bone marrow fish. But let's get to our last gaming news. And our last gaming news, we need to always do our board game of the week, similar to our video game of the week, but it's a board game. And today's board game is actually quite something, and it is called The Mountain of Madness. So I just want to say that the last 2 years have been wild across the board, and board games have become an unexpected champion in that time. While many were locked down, including myself, during the pandemic, board games became a point of entertainment. And the industry is doing well for itself in 2021. And now it turns out one popular game is hoping to crowdfund an anime film for its fans. For anyone curious about this game, here's a short description about what you should expect in the game. Lore time. I really like lore. That's what makes this board game so unique. It's 1931. Your scientific expedition discovers a new and intriguing mountain range in the middle of the Antarctic polar circle. Under these challenging conditions, the survival of your team will depend on your ability to communicate with each other and to coordinate your efforts to overcome each obstacle. But what you discover on the way to the highest peak will strongly test your mental health. Will you even be able to understand yourself despite the madness that gradually insinuates itself into your mind? My goodness, I like this game. I think I might need to get it myself. It's sort of like a D&D survival type game. And you know what? I am a D&D fiend. I love those types of games. And guess what? It's a board game, and it's going to get its own anime. You know what? If I ever have the chance, I think I myself will have to go to the crowdfund and really just, donate some money to it because, it sounds really interesting, and I would be super excited to watch it. So I've done all the video game news. But if you guys have noticed, we don't have Nebraska with us. So what we're going to do is I'm going to also share with you guys some entertainment news. So for our entertainment news, Britney Spears' mother, Lynn, reacts to Jamie stepping down as the conservator. So for those who have been following this entertainment news, singer, songwriter, and performer Britney has been under a legal conservatorship for over 13 years. The singer spoke out against the arrangement in June, calling the conservatorship abusive in her court testimony. Great news is that Mr. Jamie Spears, her father, has agreed to work with the court and his daughter's new attorney to prepare for an orderly transition to a new conservator. Britney Spears' mom was so happy to hear about the latest update in her daughter's conservator battle. Shortly after Britney's father, Jamie Spears, filed legal documents stating that he is willing to step down as the conservator of her estate, the 39-year-old singer's mom, Lynn Spears, reacted to the news in a statement. And she said, "As a community, we are sending lots of positive energy to Britney Spears, wishing her all the best on her new journey. I am so happy that she is able to have a happy ending and really get somebody new as their conservator. You know what is very important, guys? So when you get famous, you need to get a very good conservator because conservatorship is very, very sensitive." Anyways, though, now we need to get to our best part of Youth Connect. And you know what that is, right? It's Jeffrey with his live music.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to be playing Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun. I say it's a little darling, long cool lonely winter. It seems like years it's been here. The sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, nice guitar. Little darling, the smiles are turning to this. Little darling, it seemed like years sitting. Here comes the sun, do-do-do. Comes the sun, I say. It's alright. Sun, sun, it comes. Sun, sun, it comes. Sun, it comes. Sun, it comes. Sun. Little darling, I feel like I see slowly melting. It seems like years it's been clear. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, I say. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, I say. It's alright. It's alright. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I really love that song. You know, Mr. Patrick and Miss Judith were having a jam just right now. They were dancing to the music. And you know what? I hope you guys have a beautiful sun and I hope it brightens up your day, especially when it's been a bit gloomy. Anyways, guys, I hope that you enjoyed Youth Connect. You know what? We got some pretty interesting news, some pretty scary things like fish with teeth. Oh, I can't get over it. But I want to thank all my co-hosts. I want to thank Joshua. I want to thank you, Kevin, and I also want to thank you, Jeffrey. And we also want to thank Nebraska. Even though he's not here, we will still say thank you. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And don't forget to click on the notification bell.
Absolutely. And make sure to check out our social media at Youth Connect Live. And we will see you all next time. Anyways, guys, have a great rest of your day. And you know what? Try to stay indoors because it's going to be very hot. Bye, guys.
Bye.